Ahoy hoy toy fans! Here we are. It's been a while since I had an unboxing toy reveal, and I've been trying to do this one for a number of weeks now, but with last weekend's hockey tournament, the weekend before that my buddy's cottage weekend, it's been so busy, um, even leading up to those weekends to prepare for everything and whatever, that I just haven't had time to really do this kind of thing. But now we have the long weekend. It's the holiday Monday right now. I may not post this today, but I'm at least getting it recorded, so I've got it good to go. And I have a couple more videos I can post unboxing-wise over the next little while. I hope to get another one done at least in the next month sometime. But for now, for today, for right now, I've got my third G.I. Joe classified collection of toys to open. I'll post the links to my first two G.I. Joe videos. I think the first video I had 5 characters, and then the second video I had a vehicle that came with a character. So right now I've got 6 characters in a vehicle. I'm adding 6 more. I found some. I was kind of shopping around online to find the best price, and actually Amazon ended up having some really good deals on guys that were kind of discounted. So I picked the characters that I really like that were on sale, and I'm just kind of going on that basis where I can get a good deal on a person I really like. I'm going to take advantage and get them. So over the last little while, I've got 6 of them come in. So that's who we're going to look at today. You can see it's G.I. Joe because I'm wearing my G.I. Joe shirt. In my second video, I forgot to wear my G.I. Joe shirt, and I was just so used to the process of when I unbox toys, I usually wear my Transformer shirt. So in that middle video, I do have my Transformer shirt on, but I'm going to try and make it G.I. Joe for my G.I. Joe if I can remember. But again, I'm old, I forget things, I have senior moments all the time now. It's great. Anyways, without further ado, I've got 3 good guys, 3 bad guys. Let's meet them. On the good side, we got Dusty, Lady Jaye, and Scarlett. And on the bad side, we have all Dreadnoks, Buzzer, Ripper, and Zarana. As for these characters, I'm going to give you just a really brief rundown on what these guys are all about. Dusty here, he is, in keeping with his name, he is a man who is most comfortable in the desert, which is a job nobody else on the Joes wants. So before he went into the military, he was training to become like a coolant heating repairman sort of thing, like refrigeration and air conditioning, that sort of thing. And I think it's funny that contrast of fixing things that make heat and fixing things that make cold made him perfectly suited to be a guy who got along in the desert, because the desert's a very treacherous place where during the day it can be scorchingly hot and dehydrate you and burn you to a crisp. And then at nighttime, to go from something so hot to something so cold, it's the polar opposite, right? Like, not to mention sandstorms, windstorms, fucking treacherous, poisonous, stinging animals, that sort of thing. So Dusty feels right at home in that environment, and fortunately he does, because a lot of the Joe's adventures take them to the desert, and his expertise has paid off dozens and dozens and countless many times. Now, Scarlett is one of the original Joes. She's one of the very first run Joes. And Dusty is from Las Vegas, Nevada, FYI. His real name is, shit, now I forget. Ronald something. Ronald, it starts with a T, his last name, I forget. Anyways, Scarlett, like I said, one of the OG Joes, along with like Duke and Gung Ho and Lady Jaye and all those guys. She is from Atlanta, Georgia, and she is a very competent martial artist. She grew up with a father and 3 older brothers that were all military, like fight trainers sort of thing. So she very quickly became adept at defending herself and being very proficient in taking people out. She's also very adept with sniper weapons and with intelligence. She's actually one of the Joes whose clearance goes above everybody else. Like there's stuff that she knows and she does that nobody else on the team except maybe Duke or whatever know about, sort of thing. So she's a very key part of the Joe team and one of the OGs. Lady J, also one of the, no, I don't think she was very, or maybe she might have been, but if she wasn't one of the original OG Joes, she was very close afterwards. And her, she's from, her real name is Allison Hart Burnett, and she's from Martha's Vineyard, Massachusetts. And her skill is acting. So she is able to go in covertly, blend in, and play a part, be an actor, and in order to gain intelligence and infiltrate and recon and that sort of thing. And she does it without much disguise, without much makeup. She literally becomes the part and plays the part. And that's her great strength, is her ability to blend in and get behind enemy lines and ferret out information and intel that she can feed back to the Joes, and they can obviously make their battle plans from. Now, the Dreadnoks. There's kind of a distinction between the bad guys in G.I. Joe. There's Cobra, led by Cobra Commander, which is the overarching kind of force of bad guys in the G.I. Joe series. But there's also Destro, who's affiliated with Cobra, but who's also off on his own. He was one of the guys I looked at in my original video. And he runs a military weapons research company called Mars, who supplies Cobra with all their weapons, sort of thing. So he's with Cobra, but he's also on his own in his own kind of capacity. The Dreadnoks are another kind of faction outside Cobra that oftentimes works with Cobra. The Dreadnoks are a collection of basically ne'er-do-wells who live in the Everglades swamp in Florida, and just basically enjoy all kinds of carnage and destruction. And they won't, you know, your grandma goes knocking on their door to sell some cookies, she gets a punch in the face, and that's a good result, right, of the Dreadnoks. They're just nasty dudes, and they don't give a fuck. So there's lots of Dreadnoks overall. I want to say they're at least in the double digits, like they're at least above 10 characters, probably well more than that. But there was just a few that were the original Dreadnoks, and then they added on more as the series kind of went along. The leader of the Dreadnoks, Zartan, I don't have his figure yet. He's going to be hard to find, it looks like, because he's already been released a while back, it looks like. And I can't really find his character for a good price. But I've got two of the originals that came after Zartan, or came with Zartan. Buzzer, whose real name is Richard Blinken Smith. He's actually from Cambridge, England, and he was a don of sociology at a college. Now, he had to keep his real thoughts to himself when at this establishment, because he had very far out there views on stuff. And they all came to a head when one of his research assignments took him to settle in with the biker gangs of Australia. And once he got in with them, his full destruction-loving self came to the forefront, and he quickly changed career tacks after that experience. So he ended up getting in with the Dreadnoks, and he just loves to destroy everything. And he does so with a diamond-bladed chainsaw that he uses to basically cut through anything or anyone. So yeah, he's a nasty piece of business. Ripper, another one of the original Dreadnoks. There's basically Zartan, and then there was 3 Dreadnoks that came with him. So Buzzer, Ripper, and then there's one more that hasn't been released yet. And he, of course, he's my favorite of the 3 that came with Zartan. So I do plan on getting him when he comes out. But for now, we'll have to settle for these 2. Ripper, his real name was Harry Nod, and he was born in Tasmania. Now, unlike Buzzer, who tried to be a normal person for a long time, Ripper was nasty right off the hop. Growing up, he was in Juvenile Correctional Institute after Juvenile Correctional Institute, and none of them could tame him, none of them could contain him. And when he eventually escaped and became older and fell in with biker gangs in Tasmania, they thought even he was too crazy for them, and they kicked him out. So eventually he found a home with the Dreadnoks. And he likes to attack people, more so not with guns, although he does use guns and stuff. He likes to employ different kinds of tools that will like thin clamps and devices that will crush and cut and whatever. So also sadistic, just like Buzzer. The last one, Zarana, she came a little while after, and she was a descendant of Zartan, and she has a twin brother named are they twins? I think they're twins. Twin brother named Xandar, who I don't have yet. And her great strength, she's basically like very much like Lady J. Her strength is in blending in, disguising, getting intel by getting inside and playing a part to infiltrate the enemy. Now, unlike Lady J, she does so more with the use of masks and makeup and other disguise elements, whereas Lady J just kind of uses her own looks, just alters them with a hairstyle or clothing or whatever, whereas Zarana has to do the whole gamut with makeup and costumes and stuff like that. But oftentimes her own plans are unraveled because she has a bit of a nasty side, and it tends to come out and spoil any hard work she's done by infiltrating said enemies, sort of thing. So love the Dreadnoks. I love OG Scarlet and Lady J. Dusty's pretty classic. This is a good collection of characters. Like I said, I hope to get at least one more Dreadnok. And there are, well, let's say there's a ton of other characters I really want, but whether I'm going to get them or not, whether I'm going to find good deals or not, I don't know. But before we unbox these guys, let's have a quick look at their G1 figures, their original figures from like 1983 or 84, whatever the hell it was. And we'll do them in the same order I introduced them at the start of this video. So let's have a look. Not bad for the early 80s, eh? G.I. Joe figures were so awesome, and the only thing I disliked about them is that at the time it was awesome. They used this rubber band inside them. There was a hook inside their torso and a hook inside their pelvis and a rubber band that attached the two things and kept them tight, which meant you could swivel their hips, turn their legs. Like, they were so flexible and jointed because of this rubber band. But the problem is, over time, these rubber bands wear out, they get brittle, whatever, they break. So a lot of your G.I. Joe characters that you had as a kid eventually just come apart because this rubber band self-destructs, right? So I haven't looked at my Joes in a long time. They're in a suitcase down in my Rubbermaids in my man cave, and I'm kind of afraid to take them out because I don't know if I'll just try and re-rubber band them or glue them together. I don't know. Glue's a little more permanent than I would like, but yeah, I'll worry about that when I eventually brave having a look at them after all these years. So another cool feature about the G1 figures, in a couple of cases only, Zartan had this feature and Zarana had this feature, and maybe Xandar did too, I don't remember, but their skin on the G1 figures were a little different than the other guy's skin. It was not painted on, it was a special type of plastic that when exposed to the sun, it would charge up, kind of like the glow-in-the-dark thing, but it wasn't glow-in-the-dark. It would just change color. It would change from like a flesh color to more like a bluish color. And it was kind of the toy line's way of saying like, oh, here's how they change color in their disguises, that their skin color changes and stuff like that. Which you saw in the original cartoon when Zartan would get pissed off and stuff, his face would change color and he'd get all worked up. So they kind of worked that into the figures as well, which when we were kids, our mind was blown by that. Look what fucking Zartan can do, right? When I think back to when we were kids and the stuff that blew our mind, it's like, oh, simpler times, right? Simpler times. Anyways, let's get these guys out of the box, see what they look like, and then we'll wrap this thing up. All right, we'll just go in the same order that I introduced them in. I brought scissors this time. I'm learning. It only took a matter of years for me to do so. The Dustinator. He's looking pretty slick. He's got a backpack. Obviously needs that for the desert action. a rifle with a little stand on it so he can set it down and take some careful aim. That's some punk ass Cobra bitches. Looks like he's got, this looks like maybe an ammo cartridge for his gun. Oh yeah, there it is. Plugs in right there. Unless it goes the other way. Ah, Ronald Tadur. Tadur is on his name tag there. He's got what looks like a couple different sets of little goggles. Maybe depending on whether he has his cowl on or not, which is one of his most recognizable features, is you always knew Dusty when he had that little hood on. And just his fatigues, that kind of that desert camo, you know. You always knew it was Dusty. That's how we're used to Dusty looking right there with the cap on. So that right there is Dusty. Desert Warfare Specialist Extraordinaire. Next up, OG Joe Scarlet. I gotta admit, you know, I'm not sure if other people have felt this in their life, but when you think that certain cartoons are really hot, Scarlet was one of those cartoons that was really hot. They actually had a couple, a really good like statue of her that I've seen online, and like she looks so smoking in it, like her ass is all tight and shit. Oh my god, it's a lot of money, but I love to add it. I love to add it. Holy shit. Oh, yeah. There's different types of G.I. Joe classified figures. They have these different waves. So like Destro and Baroness from my first run, they had these little plates that they could stand on, which the original G.I. Joe figures had that. They had the little holes in the heels just like Star Wars characters did. And they could just be stuck on there so they could like stand up without actually having to stand up. Because sometimes it's hard to balance them when you have, you know, like backpacks and shit on. Scarlet. I'm curious if anybody is familiar with G.I. Joe and you think you might know some of the characters I really want to get. You can probably guess a couple of them at least, because you know there's obviously one I can think of that's a glaring omission from the characters I've got yet, that I haven't got yet, that I would really like to add, because he's pretty much, you know, a favorite of most people, I would imagine. So if you have any ideas and you want to leave them in the comments, go ahead and let me know. If you have any favorites yourself. Which hair should I go with? Maybe this one. Boop. Oh yeah, she's looking good. Scarlet's a dish. Fucking dish. Ooh, look at this one. She's got a couple of guns. There's the sniper rifle, most likely. Oh, maybe not. Oh yeah, it's a sniper rifle. It's got the scope up there. Oh, she's got an extra pair of fists that are balled into fists, so in case you want to do some punching and not some shooting, she can get right in there. And of course it comes with her signature crossbow. That's the weapon you usually see her with the most. backpack on. She's got to use this ponytail. There we go. I was wondering why those two. I gotta give her her crossbow. Handgun. I'm guessing these hold her arrows. Maybe that end first? Ah, yes. There we go. So she's got this little pouch right here. You can stuff her arrows in there. Love it. And they all have different ends. This one's like almost like a grapple thing or something. That's pretty cool. Oops, broke that one. Oh shit. And there's the crossbow. Scarlet and her crossbow. There we go. One of the OG Joes looking good. Oh, we'll just do this. Meh. Scarlet, you have no choice but to stand. 'Cause I gotta stand for you. Boom. There's Dusty and there's Scarlet. Obviously, Scarlet came with much extra swag than he did. Next up, Lady J. Lady J was also very recognizable because of her green fatigues and also the short hair and usually the ball cap she was wearing. They did such a good job in this series, just with creating really memorable, instantly recognizable characters. You know, if you've never watched G.I. Joe and you love '80s cartoons, classic cartoons, it's one of the best. Like literally, there's no other way to put it. Like G.I. Joe and Transformers by far the two best of all time in terms of cartoons. Turtles was really good too, but those two are the fucking best by far. Oh yeah, this is some sort of staff, maybe? Or are these, does she throw these? Yeah, like javelins or something. Assuming those are the ends of them. Yep, so she's got these things. I can't remember I remember them exploding. I wonder if she can equip different tips on them. Some sort of little launcher here too. Looks like or does it launch these things? Huh, where's your box? Not sure if it's supposed to blast these things or not, but it looks pretty good. Although I'm probably just gonna have her holding one, to be honest. I remember her throwing them a lot, like a javelin, you know, letting her rip. Last thing, her little blue cap. Oh, do you have to? Ooh, you can take it. Oh, she's bald. There we go. She got to have a blue cap on, as far as I'm concerned. Doing good with the female representation, too. We got 3 guys, 3 girls this time. We've already got Baroness in the mix. Next up, Buzzer. Or Richard Blinken Smith, right? There he is. What an asshole, eh? He reminds me of someone, but I can't put my finger on it, like an actor or something. Like a blonde Steven Seagal or something. Alright, what does his footlocker contain? Meh. Let's find out. Yep. In case you wondered if he was a sick bastard, look at all the stuff he's got. A handgun, a knife. His knife will go in here. Boom. His handgun will go in here. Meh. So he's got this thing to swing around and carve people up with. Garbage. He's got this thing to swing around and carve people up with. He's got some sunglasses, which are a classic Buzzer. And his glasses were crazy too. They were crazy looking, obviously. And then he's got his chainsaw. That's the one right there. The chainsaw is the shit for Buzzer. This is yeah, this is, you don't picture Buzzer without a chainsaw in his hand. That's just the way it goes. Ah, sunglasses. I might have to keep the sunglasses off when I put them in my room, just in case they, for fuck's sake, fall off. Wish they all came with those little stands, to be honest. Buzzer, fuck off. Oh my god, now you've knocked down Lady J. Jesus Christ. Next up, Ripper. Of the 3 Dreadnoks that were under Zartan, Buzzer's probably my least, I mean, I like them all, of course. But Buzzer's probably my least favorite, and Ripper's the guy I like in the middle. His face looks insane, it's amazing. And then the guy I don't have, of course, it was my favorite. I really hope to get him at some point. I think he's supposed to be released this summer. So yeah, hopefully I can turn him into an acquisition. Let's see what Ripper's got. What the hell is this? Ugh. Huh. It's all wrapped up separate. His gun was all wrapped up separately. I don't know why. Look at this thing. Meh, 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 meh. I'm gonna crush you with these things, right? These are like the jaws of life or some shit, right? For accidents. This guy's just batshit crazy. Comes with a pretty cool knife, which goes meh. Comes with a gun that's also a knife on the end, which goes meh. He also comes with glasses, these crazy ones. Yeah, yeah, looks awesome. Come on. Okay, right hand. Maybe not. There we go. Okay. Ripper. He's gonna be front heavy with that thing sticking out. And last but not least, Zarana. Now, of these 6 characters, Zarana is the only one who I had her original toy. Never had any of these other guys. She's got a really cool outfit, like the pink and stuff and her crazy hair. She's got a different hairstyle you can put on. All pink without any colors and stuff, but I like the one she's got. Oh, they changed the color of her backpack. It was red in the original one. And it looks like something goes in there. This thing? Oh, this one's even got a red blade on it. Or if that's what goes back there. Got a little knife here. Ooh, she's got a nice ass. Actually, so did the other two. Didn't notice that till now. Usually I noticed that earlier on. And then in keeping with Dreadnought consistency here, she's got, of course, a gun that's not only a gun, but it's got a spinning blade of death on it, right? So, yeah, so she's got a lot of trinkets. A lot of trinkets. And there they all are. The 6 new, oh, she's got spurs on her boots too. Cool. The 6 new additions to my growing G.I. Joe classified collection. Remember when I said I wasn't going to buy any more? Or not that many more? Yeah, maybe we'll take a break for a little while. Okay, what can I say? What do you think? I'm very happy with these 6 characters because for many reasons. A, I got them all at cheaper than usual prices. B, these encompass some of my favorite characters in the franchise to various degrees. There's so many characters in G.I. Joe that it's unbelievable, especially on the G.I. Joe side. The Cobra's not so much because they have just a lot of generic troopers, you know, and it's only the leadership really that get a lot of like unique kind of characters and a few below them. But G.I. Joe, there's so many different Joes. So it's really a hard series to narrow down your absolute favorites, but you do have a fair number that you prefer over the rest, right? And these are a good handful of those characters. The other thing I like about them that I've liked about all the classified series figures so far is just the total attention to detail on the figures. They're all wearing the exact same clothes that they wear in the series. Like they look just like they should look in terms of their outfits. And then on top of that, you know, with the Dreadnoks especially, they got all these little necklaces and armbands with spikes on them and the tattoos. There's just all these little added details that just flesh them out into the exact character you think they should look like, in the different haircuts and stuff like that, and the different things you can swap out. You can take off Dusty's cowl. Scarlet's got all of her little quivers, her arrows in that little quiver. All the little daggers and knives you can tuck away in places. It's just everything about these characters screams detailed, realistic, authentic to the original G.I. Joe series, which is, I think, what this classified series is all about. They're just giving older collectors an enhanced version of the toys we loved so much as kids that we can collect nowadays, and that I think are going to hold up better than the original toys did for sure. Yeah, so I can't wait to take these guys downstairs and find somewhere to put them, maybe, and add them in there with the rest of the guys I've got so far. And yeah, I'm gonna keep my eyes on a few other characters I've got in kind of in the back of my mind as possible future purchases. But like I said, with G.I. Joe Classified, I'm not going nuts like I have with Transformers. But I am gonna pick away at my most favorite characters, especially when I can find good deals on them. So we're adding 6 more today to the 6 I already have. That makes a cool dozen. A pretty good start. Stay tuned, maybe, for some future videos. Have a good week.
Meow.